Welcome back to another episode of Hello Ladies, where feminism meets pro wrestling. We are your hostesses with the mostesses. I am Sabrina.
And I'm MJ.
And oh boy, things have happened in wrestling and we're gonna talk about them. But first, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, review, sacrifice, whatever you do.
Thumbs up, not thumbs down.
Yes, thumbs up. Don't
Give us
actually.
all the give us all the love.
Also, the vegans are not actually telling you to sacrifice anything to us. Just
The tofu gods.
grab your nearest package
Ooh.
of tofu and cut it open, and you drain that water into the sink.
I just realized you can see Freddie's ears in the corner still, even though I sat up.
Oh, yeah.
So we got a special guest today.
Mhm. He's the producer this week.
Editing's gonna be crazy on this.
Bark, bark, bark.
Oh, I want to give a shout out real quick too. So I could not be here last week, but I wanted to say thank you to Priscilla. I actually listened to this on the drive, your episode on the drive home on Sunday because I was in Phoenix, and it was fabulous. And I'm very like impressed with Priscilla's wrestling knowledge. I was sitting there, I felt like I was learning things from Priscilla. I'm just like taking notes. And so thank you so much for filling in for me. I was feeling like hot garbage.
We all have our I can't talk, hot garbage days. So,
Yep,
um,
hot garbage days.
yeah. Yeah, I was thrilled that she was able to pop on, but yeah, she's so much better at remembering what moves are called specifically than I am. And she also lives on Reddit wrestling thing, which I don't
That's what
touch.
she was saying. Yeah. No, oh God, I couldn't. I don't even have Twitter. I can't deal. I
No.
cannot deal with the IWC like that. And that brings me to this weekend wrestling. So last night, Sheamus came back on Raw. Well, not when you're listening to this, but this Monday,
Mm-hmm.
Sheamus came back on Raw looking like a normal man, like a normal human being, actually a more fit version of an average man.
Yeah.
And everybody was fat shaming him online.
Which is insanity because again, Sheamus is so strong. And like again, he's
Yeah.
not like it's not like he's out of shape. The only thing that
Mm-hmm.
I did not appreciate his new gear because
Mm-hmm.
it reminds me so strongly of men's underwear, which more so than the basically men's underwear that men already wrestle in. Um
Yeah.
it was just I was just like, if you're selling these on WWE Shop, like, I think this is good product placement. Like, wear this underwear, gentlemen.
That's funny. Don't they say that like I mean like during like bodybuilder competitions, the reason they get so bronze and tan is so you can see the definition of the muscles better.
Yeah.
So the fact that like Sheamus is so pale as he is and you can see how cut he is too, like consistently, I feel like that parallel too probably threw people off, not defending the IWC, but like that just shows you how hard that man works on his body. If you haven't already looked at his YouTube channel to show the insane workouts that he puts himself through. But like I thought that was the funniest thing. Cause I'm very pale. And I remember there's times in my life where I've had abs and I've had to work so fucking hard. And then like I feel like I go and eat like a meal and they're gone. Cause I'm like literally next to Seamus, I'm the pastiest human being on the planet. So I relate to that so much because I feel like he consistently just looks cut. And I'm like, I can't even imagine that man's regimen for his eating and his working out
Mm-hmm.
because it's insane. And then for him to get fat shamed like that is wild.
And him and his wife rescue dogs and help them find homes. Like, get the
Mm-hmm.
fuck out of here with like shaming him in any way. We don't shame Sheamus.
No, don't shame the shameless. You know, like those memes that are like, when you're being mean to me, this is what you're being mean to. It's like a photo of a marshmallow or like something, or like Pikachu or like something goofy. I feel like it would be Seamus needs to actually post a photo with his family and dogs, and then just be like, when you're being mean online, this is who you're being mean to.
I'm they should actually we should just like make that. They have their own, like the dogs have their own Instagram account. I love it. It is fantastic. And again, they use it
Yes.
to like help other dogs get adopted, which I love.
Mhm.
They currently I'm way too invested in this one dog that they're fostering, and I'm really hoping she's a foster family. This is
Aw.
so cute. This is so cute.
I
Um,
love anytime I go on our podcast page too, like, and I log into that account because you follow on there so many like wrestlers' dogs and cats and stuff that I'm always just like, well, who is this cat? Or like, so then I click into it, I'm like, oh, okay. So that I learned so much about all the wrestler pets through you, Sabrina.
I will I will say I don't know another wrestling fan who has quite the knowledge for wrestler pets as I do. Um,
Yeah.
I definitely know more about some wrestlers or wrestling personalities and their pets than them themselves. And it just is what it is.
Like
Some
Chuck Taylor.
That poor stupid idiot dog. He doesn't even look real.
Oh man. But I mean, that was the thing. I didn't even know that this morning. I was actually in a conversation with Chrissy, formerly known as Luna Havoc, and she posted a meme, and it was like one of the Drake memes, where it's like going like, ugh, and it's like me with like people ripping on like the new tag belts, and then it's like people fat shaming wrestlers on the internet. It was like the this one, kind of like the Drake thing, and I was like, what the hell did I miss? And she filled me in that Sheamus was getting fat shamed, and meanwhile, people are blowing up over the people that don't like the tag belts. So if you don't like the tag belts, you're the worst person in the world. But then those same people are turning around and fat shaming
Amy.
Sheamus. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Mm.
So what was your first reaction when you saw the tag belts?
Um, I was just really happy that the penny belts were gone because they've always reminded me of like pennies or some sort of coin. Um,
Sure.
the one I don't have like I'm not sure if there's been a tag belt that I've really liked since like the year 2000. And
Okay.
um
Are we
because
talking strictly WWE or any promotion?
I couldn't let me back that up. I couldn't even
Okay.
tell you right now. Like if I really thought about it, I can think about what the ROH ones look like. I don't
Sure.
remember what AEWs look like. Um
Mhm.
so yeah.
They're like this. They just have like the AEW on them, the
Oh,
two tag belts. Yeah.
yeah. It's just mm, I, they're belts, you know? That's
Sure. Sure.
that's
Pretty
kind of my
standard.
reaction. Yeah. How about
So
you?
have you not liked a tag belt since the Hardys? Is that what I'm picking up on? Yep. As
That
soon
would
as
be
you were talking,
correct.
I was like, I think I know where this is going.
That would be correct, and it's definitely just because of like the feelings I have towards the rivalry between the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys, um,
Sure.
and that era of tag team wrestling more so than the belts themselves. Um,
Yeah.
Not saying that I haven't loved tag teams or tag team rivalries since. It's just that's when I first started watching, and that's what really hooked me in. So, um,
Yep. That's totally fair. That's totally fair. I feel like so many people love the white IC belt for that the white strap IC
yeah,
belt for that reason because that was such a big era in wrestling for so many people, including well, I'm also obsessed with that belt, but as a big Cody Rhodes stan, I feel like I'm biased in that way too.
yeah, um, yeah. I'm a big fan of the white one as well. How do you feel about these tag belts?
I didn't think they were cute when I saw them unveiled, and then I saw them online. Like something about like the still. I feel like they never look good on TV. Like there's no good way to film those belts in these ceremonies. Like I feel like they need to figure that out a little bit because when they first unveiled like well what used to be Seth's belt, formerly Rhea's belt too as well. When they first unveiled those, I did not think they were attractive, and then I saw them online, and I was like, okay, I can see the appeal more now. So I feel like once I saw it kind of in like a still image, I was like, that's not bad, you know?
The last belt that was unveiled that I really fell in love with was when they retired the Divas belt and brought the women's championship belt in. But that
Sure.
belt, they could have designed the ugliest thing ever, and I would have just been so happy that it wasn't the fucking butterfly belt anymore.
What if it was a caterpillar?
Oh my God.
What if we're regressing?
I, um, I take back what I said.
I feel like the Divas belt kind of looks like the packaging on like a 2000s like Kotex box or something, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like someone was like, "Oh, what's feminine? Picks up tampons." Well, we can't put tampons on the belt, but because they look like sperm. So we'll put what's
Ah,
on the tampons box.
Jesus.
Can you imagine? Oh my, no, I'm gonna stop that train of thought because okay. Anyway,
I'm not even gonna say what the first thing that popped in my mind when you said that. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. I don't want to get roasted on the internet.
yep, same.
But anyway, I didn't think they were that bad, to be honest. But then it just makes me think about how like they always say like the IWC needs to go touch grass and go outside, you know? And I'm just like, man, like the fact that everybody's all up in arms about this belt really shows how good some of us have it. This is like the thing that like is ruining our day, you know, enough to go complain about it like this.
So for those of you who don't know, MJ currently is outside, so I have to ask, are you touching grass right now?
No, I'm not. Actually, it's fake grass over in the yard. Didn't
Shame,
even
shame, shame.
to jump the fence to go over to the real grass.
Oh, well, Dobby has feelings about that. When you said that, he walked in, he just went, oh. Um, the other, well, two other things happened on Raw.
Yeah,
It opened, of course, with Rhea having to abdicate her reign of
yeah,
terror as women's champion.
yeah,
Now, obviously, MJ and I have talked about this prior to the podcast. Believe it or not, we don't just save up all of our wrestling talk for this. We would have 8 hour long podcasts if we did that. Um,
yeah. So you think they're long now?
oh, that's with us talking like every day.
I love having a girlfriend that I can just like unload about wrestling. Like we have our own debriefs post wrestling shows. It's pretty fucking awesome. Like I know if
Yeah.
I go into my chat and I see like 5 voice memos from you, I'm like, oh yeah, let's dive into this shit.
Mhm. Yep. Same, 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 same. Um, but so it's wild to me. I've seen some takes that people have had about
Yeah,
Rhea because like what I believe happened is I think Rhea got injured at WrestleMania. Um, I mean, she already had her wrist injured.
yeah,
Very easy that she like believable that she could have, without overcompensating, hurt her shoulder.
yes.
Um, and like injuries also could have just been piling up on the poor woman. Um, Becky apparently wrestled at WrestleMania with strep throat. Um,
Yep, that's what they were saying on commentary. Yeah.
so you wouldn't have known it. You would not have known it. Um,
No.
but it makes sense, like to have last week where Rhea's attacked and injured by Liv on her revenge tour. If they already knew that, she was going to have to, heal up from whatever was going on with her. Um,
Yep. And you were the person that said that to me and made the most sense. I feel like everyone else was shooting me theories of like, what do you think's really going on? And then I was like, Sabrina, what do you think's going on? And then you said that. I was like, that's the most logical thing anyone said to me all day about this whole thing.
yeah, they like,
It also
um,
sets up Liv and Rhea. Like it was obvious that it's always kind of been in the back on the back burner a little bit that they could plug that in anytime with the history there and everything. But it really set it up nicely for when Rhea comes back. So
yeah, and I don't think that because some people are like, oh, well, she's taking time off so she can go get married. I'm like, you don't end your title reign for that like this. She would have
no,
lost
not
the
at all.
belt. Like,
Yeah.
especially with how Rhea is, like she definitely would have
Mm-hmm.
insisted on losing the belt. Um,
Yeah.
but also, um, the Buddy Matthews is on like he's in a storyline right now. Like that's who she's marrying. Like he would also have to be taking time off if he was also like, I'm injured, guys. Would be more believable.
Got the old injury right here, the old ball and chain. Not that he would talk like that.
No, can you imagine what would happen if he did?
Oh my
Again.
God. I did I told Sabrina this yesterday. I was like, I jumped on Buddy Matthews' live for like 2 seconds yesterday, and it was him like pulling away like the straps on his tank top at the gym to show off his chest. Because somebody in the as soon as I walked into the live, somebody said, "Your chest looks great," and he like was pulling it aside. I was like, "What did I walk in?"
See, when I hopped in his chat, everyone was asking about their new dog. I think her name's Bella, like the new puppy they got.
Yes.
And that man was doing everything but talking about that dog. And I was just like, I'm not here to be teased like this. I just want to hear about the dog. I don't care about you, like your meal prep or what. Like he was talking something about like bodybuilding, and I was like, not what I'm here for. I'm here for dog talk.
I met a little boy this week. So I finally met a friend of mine from the internet in person. She owns a tattoo shop locally, and it's a whole long story, but he loves wrestling, and so he just like became my best little friend in like the couple hours I was there. And I fucking was so happy to hear a little boy ask me, Buddy Matthews, did you know that that's Rhea Ripley's husband? And I was like, hell yeah. Like, let's just train like men to start thinking
Mm-hmm.
like I was like, that's so great. I was turned to my friend too, and I was like, you're doing a great job because he is referring to it like this, you know? I just thought it was so wonderful.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Macho man.
Oh yeah, Rhea Ripley's the cream of the crop, yeah.
You did that so much more justice than I did.
I used to do a really good Macho Man. I got to practice it more.
Hmm. Um, yeah, I've seen some really like wild theories out there. I forget what I saw some random video on Wrestle Talk talking and like the shit this woman was saying, I was just like, I don't know what you're on, but you're not on this planet. Like with this stuff, it was like conspiracy theory stuff about Rhea Ripley's injury. And I was like, we've gone too far. We've gone too
Went full Pepe Sylvia, Charlie Day, Always
Yeah,
Sunny in Philadelphia.
yeah, yes. Very much so. And I was just like, I'm not commenting. I don't want any more of your stuff showing up. I'm just scrolling.
Wow.
It was one of those. I was just like, I never want to see your face again, madam.
Damn. That's wild.
Yeah,
Now I want you to send me the video, but then if you do, then you're gonna get spammed with that person's stuff for like the end of time.
pretty much, pretty much. Um, but yeah, I'm sad that Rhea's gone. Like, especially her and Damian Priest just had gear made together, the Terror Twins. So,
Yes,
like, clearly they were planning shit. They wasn't just like, let's have this gear made to really swerve the fans. This isn't going to be upsetting
exactly.
to us.
Let's spend my hard-earned money. Isn't it like can't think of the name. Saints of Mercy, Saints something. They make fabulous clothes. They made those two
Yeah,
pieces for them. But anyway, I love their work. But oh my God, can you imagine? And also, I don't think anybody's done it yet, but somebody needs to do a side by side of the moment where she's hugging him backstage when he wins the belt, and then the side by side of when she's going hugging him for comfort. Like I haven't seen anybody do that yet. I feel like somebody needs to make that post.
again, I say we could do that, but I'm not going to hunt through the images to do it.
I know. It's sad.
It is. It,
Sad moment.
yeah.
But so I did not watch all of Raw for full transparency because I know we're also going to get into Chad Gable and Sami Zayn in a second because I know that was a big highlight. So I did not see all of that match as well as I did not see all of Raw to know, did they announce what's going to happen with the belt? Will there be a tournament or what's the plan?
Nothing yet. I
Okay.
imagine there's gonna be a tournament, a tournament. Um, yeah, but
No interim women's title for about a year. No, we're not
no,
going to do that.
not doing that.
Thunder
A lot
Rosa's not coming out.
a
Just
lot
kidding.
of people were also like, well, why, like, they that was part of what this person was saying. Like, I don't know why they made Rhea give up that belt. Like, she's only going to be off for a few months. Like, she should have just hung on to it. Like, they had Seth do that. I'm like, Seth didn't wrestle for like a month and a half, and he was on TV. This is an like they don't know how long she'll be out with a shoulder injury. It's at least 6 months. Um,
Yeah.
you
I
can't.
thought Seth still did wrestle too, like even within that month and a half. I thought he wrestled. I'm trying to, because somebody came out and like attacked him that night in the ring, even, didn't he, when he announced that he couldn't?
Yeah, I don't think he was. I don't think he was having matches. I do think he was getting his ass kicked.
Okay, fair.
Uh,
He was still getting the smackdown laid on him.
yeah. He was
Okay.
certainly there like every week, basically. But yeah, they did not mention. Did you did you catch the clip of Cody telling Jay basically, the goodbye because he's going
Yeet.
over to SmackDown and the yeet you later
Yeet
thing?
you later. Yeah,
Yeah. I just love those two. Like the dad jokes are strong with them.
I know. Did you see the quote that Jay released? How he said that Sami Zayn is his favorite wrestler right now and how he wants to do a tag with Sami more than anything,
Oh, I did not.
which like made my heart so fucking happy because the whole time I almost felt like they were doing like the will they won't they with Sami and Jay months ago, like the whole Roman stuff, and I wanted them to just team up so bad then. They have such good chemistry together.
Jay Uso, find me someone that man doesn't have good chemistry with.
That's true.
Like
That's true. I
honest.
feel like he just brings the levity out of people. I mean, then again, so does Sammy. So I think that's why I like it. They're just they could do such a good storyline with those two. They'd be great tag champions.
It's so fun because like Sammy has like that wholesomeness quality about him, and
Yeah.
Jay has that chaos within him. So
Yeah, I
like
could see that.
together, it's just this beautiful mishmash of they balance each other, I'll say.
You totally just described the same reason I love him and Cody as a tag team too, because I just think of that goddamn press. I like if I ever have a bad day, I'll put that shit on because hearing Cody say, Us and I may have had some libations on the bus, like
Mhm.
just fucking pops me every time.
I forget what interview it was, but someone was asking him about that and he played back and he was like, the bus is sponsored by vodka.
That's
Like,
true.
I was like, yeah, I never thought about that. Like, now we
I
know
don't think
what
it was
libations they
always
were having.
sponsored.
Hmm?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm just saying out loud. I was like, it wasn't always sponsored by vodka, Cody. Just saying. I don't know. I know they made announcements in like the last few months, but I'm like, before that, was it? Cody, was it?
Or did you get the
Maybe they just made it
sponsorship after that?
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. What great advertising.
Right? Have a few of
Oh
our
man.
drinks and you'll barely be able to get through a press conference. But
God, that was
everyone will
so
love
fun.
it.
Yeah.
You will be a happy drunk.
So on the topic of Sami Zayn, I did see Sammy's entrance. What did you think about how they filmed that through the back of the stadium there? Like
It
where
was
the concessions was?
fantastic because
Yeah.
they followed Jay out, and then
Yeah.
he got to where Sammy was like looking up at the eclipse. Not really, that's
Nice.
all the memes are. Um and then they followed Sammy in, and it's the second time they've done something similar to that.
Hmm.
And I'm enjoying it. Like this, like
Yes.
it's just different. Now, if they do that every week, I'll get sick of it. But once in a while, yeah, give me a little something different.
I love it. It feels so modern. Like it feels and it borders on like this futuristic and this modern. Like it makes it seem like when you think about it, like no disrespect to Kevin Dunn at all, but they really did the same cookie cutter kind of shots for years and years because that was like the old guard to do everything under like you had a certain rules, everything. Michael Cole had to say things on commentary a certain way, and now it's so fun seeing everybody just lighten up, try
Mm-hmm.
new things. And then Triple H mentioned in the WrestleMania press conference, stay tuned because we got more fun little things we're going to gradually roll out visually for you, and I'm very curious to see what that is.
Yeah, especially so they're supposed to be pulling back on the graphics,
Oh, I
which
was gonna say that.
which I'm trying to I don't really remember seeing any last night. Um like
Oh, okay.
nothing.
Good.
And they could have been there
I
and I'm just not remembering, but
so I want to see that creepy ass bloodline tree. That's what you're trying to say? God, I hate that thing. It freaks me out.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, some of those graphics just were not good, but um and then well, so we had the Chad Gable turn.
Yes.
Um which you and I have talked about, like we felt this coming. Um,
Yes.
and having it be in Montreal, like perfect timing. Like you want super heat, have him get his like turn on Sammy in front of Sammy's wife. Like, oof,
Yes.
that man probably had to be like helicoptered out of the city after that for his own safety.
Totally. Yeah, that Montreal crowd is hot.
Yes.
I want to go to Montreal for a show so bad. After watching Elimination Chamber and hearing the crowd go so ham for Sammy, I was like, that is a city that I need to watch wrestling in someday.
I want to go to Montreal in general. Not when it's the winter though, but um,
True.
in general, I want to go there. Because I've heard such wonderful things.
They have really good vegan food too.
Eh,
Montreal is one of the biggest vegan cities in the world.
well, now I extra want to go there.
I want to go where they have like the cool, I think it's like an umbrella type display that I always see in Montreal. Like there's down like an alleyway.
Hmm.
Yeah, I want to do all the touristy, dorky stuff in Montreal too.
But of course.
But of course, that's
Um,
cool though.
there was
Oh gosh,
one other thing that happened, which would be the possible Uncle Howdy uh
of it all.
QR code thing. Yeah. Um so I just watched the Bray Wyatt documentary. You've watched it, right?
Yes.
And I watched it Saturday night and then I sat and depuffed my eyes with some tea bags. Um, because I was like, oh yeah, what a wild Saturday night, Sabrina.
You get so crazy over there.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Woo! Making tea for my eyeballs on Saturday night. But yeah, it was great timing on my part for that. I definitely like would have I will I can't even say that I wouldn't have understood the full magnitude obviously because like I watched throughout Bray Wyatt's entire run, but
Yes.
I may not have realized it was coming as it was without having watched that.
Do you think that we're ever going to see anybody wear that last Fiend gear?
I don't know. Like I also don't know how I feel about someone taking up the Fiend character.
Yeah.
Like Uncle Howdy, fine. Something that wasn't Bray,
Yeah.
fine. I'm all for like members of that universe like existing still. Um,
Sure.
but yeah, I don't know how I would feel about I mean, it's badass. And it seems like a shame for it not to be used. But I mean, the shame is the fact that Bray Wyatt is no longer with us. How about you?
What if it's a swerve and Matt Hardy's going to WWE? It wasn't Uncle Howdy at all.
I've heard that idea
Oh,
floated out
really?
there.
Dang, I feel like I was so original.
Uh, um, but it was to be fair, it was like the Cultaholic guys, I think, one of them that floated it. But
Oh, okay.
because he shared the video of like the Uncle Howdy stuff. But again, that could simply be because Bray was his friend. Also, he's not signed currently. And what a nice way to like drum up some business for himself. Um,
True.
but I would love Matt Hardy in that universe again. Well, broken Matt Hardy specifically. Um,
Yeah.
but oh, I feel like it's got to feel nice like for those wrestlers to pay tribute to Bray, but it also has to be like bittersweet.
Re-traumatizing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've always been a huge Bo Dallas girl. Like
You
he kept
believe?
I wanted that shirt so bad. I never bought it. I really wish I had. And he was one of the big, I mean, NXT Black and Gold was incredible, but like I always look forward to seeing him on there. He was like one of my favorite parts. And people used to roast me online back in the day because I was like, I am obsessed with this man. He is the best.
Hey, I was a
Like,
big Test fan, so I understand. A testicle, if you will.
I remember you sent me that once, and I forgot what we were talking about before, and then you said I'm a testicle, and I was like, I need to go back and listen to some voice memos. I don't know what's going on. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's what we were.
It was around the time that like Kane called his fans like Canaanites.
Stupidest name ever. Makes no fucking sense.
Correct. Testicles is way better.
Yeah, 1000%. Who wouldn't want to be known as that?
I mean, it's
Oh,
stuck. It's 20 years later and I'm still talking about it. So
oh God.
just me, but still, it's someone.
So we were originally planning on just talking about AEW for transparency this week, and then there was so much stuff that happened the last couple days in WWE that we were like, all right, we're just gonna do like a week rundown of everything because it's only been 6 days since. Well, should we get into it? The video launched on Dynamite last week.
Let's go for it. I mean, that's the part to transition to because Punk is in WWE and they decided to make Punk part of their show again.
Yeah, and he set a new record. He's now on Dynamite. He was on SmackDown, and he was also what else was he on?
WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, that little old thing. And he was
Mhm.
on WrestleMania all in the same week span of time. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
So congratulations, CM Punk, on your new record.
yeah, it's impressive. Rick Rude's probably the only other one that's come close with, being on WWE and WCW television the same week, but that was only one show each.
I almost want to like take a look at what wrestlers have done that because there's been a couple that have like been on WCW and then hopped over. There was somebody from God, I'm gonna go down a whole rabbit hole if I think about this now, but I thought somebody did that on AEW too. Like they didn't have a no compete in AEW and they made the jump to WWE within less than 60 days. I don't think it was Cody though. I think it was somebody else.
Andrade, might have been Andrade. It was Royal Rumble. It would have been just under
God, I
because
can't think now. I thought it was before then, like a long time ago, like earlier days of AEW, someone smaller, not like a Cody. Oh well, it's okay.
yeah. Um,
I'll think of it when we're off.
that's always what happens. Um, So I was one of those people who initially thought we were being swerved. Like I didn't think they were really going to show the
Same.
footage. And I thought if they were going to show the footage, that something was drastically different from what CM Punk was saying to what actually occurred.
Right.
But it was pretty much so like, I mean, we can't hear anything, but from the looks, it was pretty much so what Punk said, except that like it, to some wrestling fans like you and I, it made Punk look worse, right? Because Jack Perry was just like running his hands through his hair, and that's when Punk pushed him. Like
Right.
to other wrestling fans, they did not see it that way. I think for some of us, again, I'm going to speak for both of us on this, we're like, it is 2024 and this is a workplace. You
Right.
you can't be doing this.
I've been in situations, now I'm not a violent person. I'm a very direct, straightforward person, but I've been in situations where people have done shitty things to me at work, and you're just like, I can't imagine like wanting to go outside and fight them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I want to be heard and I want to be understood, but I don't want to just beat the shit out of somebody that I work with. I don't know. And I'm a huge CM Punk girl. I've been very transparent the entire time we've been on this podcast together that everybody knows I love CM Punk. And it's one of those things that just makes me go, I feel like I had a tab open to buy his Roots of Fight merch. And I was sitting there, I was like, every time I get ready to buy like a CM Punk wrestling figure or a shirt, something happens. I swear to God. So, God, I don't. But it's so funny. You and I always talk about how Tony Khan needs to hire us. And I just thought about how on the podcast 2 weeks ago, you and I were talking about there's no way they're going to show it because what is it going to accomplish? And I still, 2 weeks later, feel the exact same way after seeing it.
Yeah. Um, what I had said to you, like as soon as like when we started talking about it, was like it feels like Tony Khan is hired Vince Russo and Vince McMahon. Like
Yeah,
that's what
that's
this
right.
feels like. And
Yeah,
not I mean, especially for that, but also like that whole episode was not good. Like there were that opening was bizarre with like the attack out of and
yeah.
like them just showing like the ring lights for a while. Um
The
Commentary
Mariah May kiss was what the hell
weird.
was that?
Yeah. And like commentary didn't seem to know what was going on. They cut away from Edge seemingly during a promo. Um
Yeah,
just whole thing bizarre. Um and I hope that Tony Khan looks at this and goes, "Huh, I have misstepped. Let's,
sure.
you know, not continue down this path." Because
Yeah,
do not want AEW to go down this path. They have such amazing talent, and doing
right.
this kind of stuff feels like they are shitting, like Tony Khan is shitting on them.
It does. And I want to be the devil's advocate here, not that you're not being this way, but because I think everyone online has been so quick to like say the craziest things about AEW. But I want to remind everybody that we had a dry spell of like what 8 to 10 years in WWE of just very mediocre storylines and wrestling.
Hmm.
And it really took a long time to turn that around, especially once we got Triple H in creative control, things really gradually started to shift. And then once we got Vince entirely out from behind the curtain, it got even better. And so I just want to remind people that one, it's okay to have a misstep. Like we can recognize that this was not the right call. It's what Tony and everybody else does from here that
Yeah,
matters.
100%. Um, that being said, it's funny because I feel like they also didn't need to show the footage exactly. Like
No,
I really liked the Bucks promo before that,
sure,
like what they were doing. Honestly, I think would have been great if they had stick figures, like popsicle stick figures, and they were like with them. Like
sure.
do something like that completely makes like a joke. Like if you have to talk about it, do
Yeah.
some shit like that. Um,
I think to even like break the bread, they could have acknowledged that Punk's perspective was correct. Like that not that his perspective was correct, but his interpretation of like events was
mhm.
correct because everything that he said on the MMA hour was correct with what we saw, like you said. So why, like, I feel like they could have gone about that in so many different ways. And also another criticism that I have is like, as an AEW fan, the thing that I hear all the time is where are the storylines from people who don't like AEW and also from AEW fans who want more storylines around some of their matches, right? And so what do? You like pull this in unnecessarily to show the footage when you still could have built heat naturally between FTR and the Bucks because of the events or because of anything else in the world. And yet you still, it feels like you're leaning on WWE in a sense to have a storyline when you're very capable, and we've seen in the past, of having storylines without WWE focus. So it's just, it's so goofy to me.
All of that, yes. And I hope what comes out of this, because Jack Perry's merch sold out. Like he,
Yeah.
because that was the thing, like watching it that I really came away from like, okay, why the hell was Jack Perry suspended? Basically, period. Because like
Sure.
there have been claims about CM Punk has claimed that he was asked to like step in when it came to that rental car. Who got that rental car for this stunt? Like
Yeah.
Tony Khan had to, like, this had to be approved. There's no way around that. Someone approved it higher up the food chain, and maybe someone lower down on the food chain, again, if Punk's like version of the conversations that happened were accurate, did not appreciate that and went to Punk because they thought that Punk could fix the situation or wanted to get rid of Punk. I mean, maybe they were an evil mastermind. They were like, meh. This will solve all my problems. He will be gone.
And you and I talked about this in text too, but we were like, I was sitting there and I was like, even the Bucks positioning in this promo doesn't make sense because they're talking about what a great guy Jack Perry is, but he got suspended. So now it's like flipping the script of like he was great all along. So then I don't know, even like an EVP, like even in like a hypothetical promo situation, then what are you saying that like Tony was behind like Jack getting suspended? So that doesn't make Tony look great in this either. But of course, neither does showing the footage make Tony look great either. But it
Yeah,
was just a mess.
it was. This had the only thing like that could possibly save this is Jack Perry coming back and going on like the run of a lifetime off of it. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's where they're going. Like, I'm concerned.
Apparently, Windy City was a great pay per view, and I still need to go watch it. I'm behind on my indie shows, but
I've heard that was good. Like really good.
yeah, people are saying it's like pay per view of the year, which is I don't. I gotta go watch it now.
How how are you feeling about Dynasty, which is this Sunday? I had to look up the matches because I was like, I don't even know what's on this.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain matches that I'm really excited for, like Okada and Pac is gonna be really cool. Like, cause I was actually on the fence about whether I should drive out to St. Louis or not for this, you know. And now I'm even more torn about maybe driving out to Vegas because TNA's pay per view is this weekend, and my man is going to win the belt for Moose. Just saying, even though the internet does not like me to say that right now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really. I mean, Danielson and Osprey is great. It's
Hmm.
amazing, but I think that's where I feel frustrated because I feel like because AEW, as much as I love it, relies so heavily in the recent year on dream matches that like that's like enough to hook people in to go. But before, previously, storyline builds were what got you to watch AEW, like back in 2022, and then before that. So I just feel like we've kind of lost sight of it, even though I want to see these dream matches. I'd love to see a little bit more story behind them.
Yeah. Like I feel the only story that really has the only match that has a lot of story behind it or like a decent amount is Thunder Rosa versus Timeless Tony Storm.
Yeah,
And like obviously that's just with the built-in storyline of, Thunder Rosa never lost that belt.
sure.
And like everything that they've been doing with it. That match I'm also excited for, but I guess yeah, Julia versus Willow too has quite a bit of history built up with it now as well. So,
True.
in a strange twist of fate, the women's matches have story building.
Meanwhile, I feel like Will Ospreay's battle is with Triple H right now more so than Danielson.
Yeah.
But when you see the backstory about why Osprey's so upset, I don't know if we want to get into that because it does definitely have a heavier trigger warning on it. But there's a, you know,
Might as well do the trigger warning and go right.
trigger warning, suicide's about to be mentioned. So feel free to fast forward through this part if you don't want to hear it. But I could be getting the story confused. Sabrina, maybe you'll have to fact check me on it, but it sounds like Osprey's missus, because I love saying it like that,
Mhm.
referring to her like that. Her ex unfortunately committed suicide, and as a result, she wants to be in the UK, and he respects that, and he also loves it out there as well. And so when talks were happening between whether Osprey was going to go to WWE, AEW, make a move somewhere else, that was kind of a big sticking point that made him want to go with AEW because he could fly out, work shows, and then fly home. He'd have more flexibility, all of those things, but he would still be essentially considered a full-time worker. And we see that. We see that in his promos. We see that in his matches. He has given his all since he's officially signed to, I didn't mean to make that punny, but All Elite Wrestling. And Triple H knew that, about the suicide, and that was why Osprey wanted to be closer to home, to be there to support his family more. And so that's why it felt like such a shot to
Yeah.
him. And when I also saw RJ City's Hey EW, and we found out that Osprey is dyslexic, autistic, and ADHD, that resonated a lot with me as being someone who has autism and ADHD. Of you have a strong sense of justice. Typically, that's a very like commonality between ADHD people, and so those things really feel, especially like a slight too. Like I would feel a similar level of hurt to that if that was me in his position. So I can relate to that a lot. It's hurtful. And then that's also where the impulse to get that out and kind of want to make yourself feel heard, whether it's on national television or not, you want to get that out and try to like express your side of things. So I was more understanding to why that happened after finding all these things out.
Yeah. And again, like, it's up to Tony Khan if Will Ospreay goes out and says that, right?
Yep.
Like, comes down to him yet again. Um, yeah, and I feel very much so the same way. Also, like, yeah, I absolutely love Will Ospreay. He's a little marshmallow of a human. Um, I mean, hell, I didn't even mind his beating up the goat story that he told.
I know. Only Osprey could make that story seem
Sweet.
not. Yeah. Yeah.
I knocked out a goat when I was 9 years old by headbutting it because it took my grape. Like, oh, his mother had to have a time with him.
Yeah. I've heard him say that in interviews too. He was like, I was he said some very British term, not like rapscallion, but like rascal or something like that to describe himself growing up.
hmm Um, but yeah, and I don't think Will Ospreay's comments would have stood out as much. Like they still would have been a talking point, obviously, but it wouldn't have been like, why is this all about W if the footage thing hadn't also happened on the same episode. Like,
Mm.
it
I
was
don't know. I think it still would have been pretty bad, to be honest.
yes, but it wouldn't I think it wouldn't have been as everything AEW does is a reaction to WWE. I quite I that conversation wouldn't have been so much in the forefront. I think it would have been more about Will and Trips. And I don't know if you heard that. Scarlett just had a whole bunch of feelings.
I didn't hear it.
Well, she's now in her queen crown bed growling, so
I do
um
feel like the internet has a preferential treatment to WWE over AEW and always has. Because I think also about you and I haven't really gotten to talk about the press conference because Triple H, he always says one thing during a press conference that kind of rubs me the wrong way, but because Triple H has like almost this little charm about him, he can get away with it.
it's the
Like he talks,
charisma.
yeah, charisma more than charm. You're right. And so at one point, somebody asked in the crowd, was the choice to have Becky and Rhea go on first deliberate? And he said, no, I don't see wrestling like that. It was almost like a very like, I don't see color, I don't see sex. He's like, I believe in equality. And I thought about how in the IWC that might seem like a very progressive statement, but it's actually very in the past. Like, no, actually, like you need to have equity and you need to consider that when you're booking these shows in the same way that like maybe a match with the LWO shouldn't be the time to showcase an agua fresca advertisement along the ring, or maybe like like the fact that dude wipes popped up during Becky and Rhea too. I was like, what is happening here? Why like that was, but then they took it away very quickly, and it was still on the side of the rings, but they took it away like the backdrop, which I was like, oh god, at least they like it seemed like somebody made a mistake at the. They were like, oh, this looks weird, I'll pull it. But then also there was another one that was so awkward too that I took notes
It was
on it, but
it
and
was
of
like a
course I
fried chicken one or something. Like it was something along those lines. Somebody else I had heard talk about it. It was during Bianca, Jade, and Naomi's match, and it was something like negatively stereotyped with black people. And so I forget what it was though. Because again, like I couldn't see all of the uh
sure,
ads. Dude wipes was clear as day. Clear as day. But
yeah,
everything else not so much. But yeah, there was I've heard about the problematic placement of some of the other ads.
yeah. I mean, so that was still crazy. So hearing Triple H kind of say that we value equality, like I was like, well, you need to be more focused on equity. You also need to hire like somebody to focus on this because that's you really don't want like you need like who's working the PR right now? You know what I mean? I was a little blown away at that statement, but I it's he's still got that very Gen X mentality in many ways. So to him, that's a very progressive, forward thinking thing to say, but it's still very, in the Stone Age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the IWC tends to look upon WWE with more grace for whatever because there's
Yeah.
more WWE fans um
Hmm.
that and because of that when because both sides right have the tribal lists uh,
Sure.
but the WWE ones outnumber the AEW ones
Yes.
so they can just like drown them out. I personally enjoy wrestling. I want everyone to get along.
I
And
hope both sides have fun.
we're just here to have a good time, everybody.
Yeah.
But
I like, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, lady.
but yeah, no, I completely agree that like the IWC is much more gracious with WWE and Triple H because there's more fans just because it's been around so much longer and it's the largest company. And
Yeah.
right now too, Triple H still has that new it's weird to say it because he's been around for so long, but people know that he's been like there for so long trying to like turn
Make change.
things yeah, to good. So you know how the IWC is very fickle. He's got maybe a year, two tops, right? That's about how long Tony Khan had of like being the messiah of wrestling.
There's a roadrunner in the yard.
Ooh, I've never seen one.
Can I zoom on here? Where is he? How do I zoom on here? How do I zoom on Zoom?
I see it moving.
He's so fucking big, Sabrina.
I
Oh
was
my
wondering
God.
what got into the yard. I was waiting. I was waiting for you to start like running after. Oh my gosh! I thought they
Of
would
course,
be
he's
larger,
behind this pot now. Oh, he's so big. That pot is fucking gigantic.
but that's not larger than a coyote.
Oh no. Larger than a coyote. False advertising.
Looney Tunes is full of lies.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
God.
Oh my God. Now I'm all big and I can't get this back. That was crazy. Sorry. So the last time I saw a Roadrunner, I was talking to Sabrina and I was like, he ran away too quick, so I couldn't film it for her. So now I had to just spur them on and be like, go look at it.
Hey, it's an Easter egg for everyone.
There you go. Oh my God. That thing was fucking huge. It came out of nowhere. Wow. That was cool.
What if every time
Anyway,
you film and you're outside, a roadrunner pops in?
hey, as long as I'm not getting attacked by birds and birds are just running in the yard, that's fine.
Yeah.
Um, I totally agree. It feels like everything that's happening right now with WWE is sparkly and new. It's like the shiny new toy, even though it's like vintage. But I think that also like we talk about like the overwhelming power of nostalgia with wrestling fans too. Like how many of us grew up watching the Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression? Like that's like our standard for like this nostalgic part of our brain, right? But even when we go back and look at it, like it doesn't live up to quite what we remember it. But
Hmm.
still, it we have I feel like this like unconscious like loyalty to WWE, like so many of us. So I don't know. I feel like that plays a bit of a role in it too.
Yeah. And it didn't really hit me, although it should have long before this, that like our demographic is one that WWE is really playing towards because of like it's our
Yeah.
childhood nostalgia. Um, and it didn't really click with me until it was after WrestleMania night 2. We went to a little bar by the hotel. We walked in, it was full of wrestling fans um who were very drunk singing Backstreet Boys, which was not what I was expecting. Like,
Yeah.
I was expecting some Cody Rhodes, maybe, like wrestling. Nope. These were drunk men singing Backstreet Boys and like with their whole souls and like things of that vein. It was I hate karaoke. It was too much. We did not
I
sit.
hate it too. Thank God we'll never do karaoke together. It's the fucking devil.
Yeah, I hate it. The most I will do is sing in the car, off key and loudly.
Yep. Oh, same. 1,000%.
But no, I don't need a microphone to do that.
Oh God.
But
Yeah, it's funny because I was doing one of the things I do in my side hustle. To everybody who doesn't know, is I do like demos in grocery stores where I demonstrate food or like just greet people, do things like that. And I was cracking up because they always say like psychologically, grocery stores, the music they play will be geared towards the target market. So, and it was all like in sync, Britney Spears, and I was like, am I the target audience of this Whole Foods?
you definitely are.
Crazy.
You, a woman in your 30s with multicolor hair and a vegan? Yes.
Yep.
Gluten-free? Yes. You are their
Yep.
target demographic.
Totally. They got me pegged.
They actually study you study you while you're in the store, like, what products is she looking at as she is hawking product?
Yeah, right. Oh man. Well, what else happened that was crazy this week? I feel like there's more, even though we've somehow covered a bajillion things.
So there is something that really want to talk about, actually.
Okay.
Two things, obviously. The turn on Orange Cassidy by Trent. Um,
Oh yes.
and like we don't have a resolution to that. We don't know which way Chuck Taylor is going to go. He's just he is the child caught in this divorce and he doesn't know what to do.
I like that they did that and didn't just have him instantly side with somebody. Do you think we'll know at Dynasty?
They're not on the card yet, so who knows?
Is it going to be 0 hour?
I will that isn't that would be insane. Like to put that on
Can I ask about that too? Because I feel like we just saw the turn. Do you feel like that's enough of a build to get them on Dynasty, or will it feel unnecessarily rushed if you see Trent and Orange?
I think they're going to go for double or nothing for that, right? That's the next big pay-per-view.
Yes.
Yeah, I would be stupid not to put it on Double or Nothing because that is a money match. Like,
Yeah.
and that's not just me being me and how much I love them. But
Yeah.
just watching everyone's reactions, like that's one of the few storylines that they have going. Like,
Yeah.
and there's so much history there. So, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that's gonna be Double or Nothing. That's my guess.
I mean, I would love that because I'm on the fence about whether I'll be there or not. So that might push me over the edge to want to go.
I still think it should be Chuck Taylor in a little cage and they have to get a key to let him out and um
Sabrina, if I go to Double or Nothing, you said you're gonna fly out and come hang out and watch Double or Nothing, right?
I did not say that. Nice try though. After how my pets behaved while I was gone to WrestleMania, I don't know if I could get someone to come back this soon after that trauma. God.
Oh, you don't want to come next month anyway. It's gonna be like 90 degrees. You're not gonna want to be here for that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my little bastard pets. The only one of them that ate the entire time I was gone was Scarlet. Everybody else was on a hunger strike. Oy. Oh, pretty.
He was stretched out all cute, but of course, the second I grabbed the camera, he moved away.
Mm-hmm. He's like, you cannot show the world I am being adorable.
That's right.
Um, but the other thing, so I've also really been loving this Soraya and
Her brother.
yeah, and Harley uh versus Cool Hand Ange, and Ruby's kind of like backed away from it. Like she said
Yeah.
like I'm out, which I wish there was more of an explanation on why on that. And then or it like made more sense. Um
Yeah.
and then he just got his ass handed to him.
I
Like,
know.
and I was like, there's more, right? Like people are invested in this. Like there's more, right?
Yeah.
I
You know,
hope.
Taya Valkyrie just talked about how she would love to do like a storyline with Soraya and Zach with her and Johnny. And I was like, oh, that could be freaking cool.
Oh yeah.
Or even like Tony and Taya either teaming up or as rivals. Like, oh my God, take my money.
Mm-hmm. I love
I would love that.
I would love that. I love Taya Valkyrie and Johnny TV.
Yeah, same.
Um who no. Dalton Castle. There we go. So his boys were let go. And did you
Hmm.
hear about like how they had been missing appearances and stuff like that? Like,
I did hear that.
um, and now it appears like he has at least one new boy from what I saw.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know to be honest with you.
I just saw this blonde man cartwheeling down in a boy's outfit.
Oh, that's Jack Cartwheel.
Jack Cartwheel.
Oh yeah, now you're gonna fall down a rabbit hole of Jack Cartwheel. He's pretty impressive. Ryan's a really big Jack Cartwheel fan.
Interesting. Okay.
He's he's kind of like a GCW staple.
Okay.
He does a lot of fun stuff in the ring. It's cool to watch him. So he was really excited. He made a whole big post about like being on AEW and stuff. It was kind of cute.
Okay. So maybe not a forever boy.
Well, I'm hoping it means they're going to do a little tag team action because that take my money. That would be freaking awesome.
I'm just happy that Dalton Castle is getting some TV time, even though it's not the TV time I want him to have. But
I feel like him and Jack Cartwheel could do a lot of quirky, goofy stuff together to get him on TV even more. So I feel like that would be perfect.
I mean, with the name like Jack Cartwheel, I would think so.
Right?
But yeah, that's what I got AEW wise.
That's it for me too.
Alrighty. Well, I guess we shall round this up or reel it in. I don't know. Uh, That's a sound fishing lines make, right?
Totally, like a meowing cat. They're going to get the fish.
I mean, yes, that sounds like a cartoon thing that would happen.
Yeah,
We already have the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. Might as well throw in a cartoon cat fishing.
it's like an animal theme we got
Fishing.
going on today.
Yeah. All
Ugh.
right. Um, so with that in mind, everyone, um, what is Willow's powerbomb goddess or something? What is it?
Hmm.
Is that what it is? Powerbomb goddess?
Now I'm blanking.
Well, that's what we're calling her today.
I thought it was, wasn't it Powerbomb Babe?
Powerbomb babe. There we go. Yes. Our patron saint of Hello
Of the
Ladies.
Powerbomb.
Power bombs, yes.
That's
Um,
kind of cute, actually.
patron saint of power bombs.
Hmm.
I like that. Put a little halo above her head.
There you go.
Um,
In the name of our patron saint of the Powerbomb, Willow Nightingale. Smile anyway.
smile anyway.